Hello and welcome to this channel where I talk about marriage, relationships and parenting. If that's something that you're interested in, like and subscribe. Today I'm excited to be talking about appreciation. How do you appreciate your spouse? Why do we need to appreciate our spouses? Before we even dive into that, what is the actual meaning of appreciation? Some of the dictionary definitions are recognition and enjoyment of the good qualities of someone or something. Imagine recognizing and enjoying them. Do you recognize the good qualities of your spouse? Do you actually recognize that your wife is very organized, or your wife is a good planner, or your wife handles money better? Do you recognize that your husband has very extraordinary leadership skills, or he's hands-on, or he's amazing at making things right, especially when things have gone wrong, or he's a peacemaker? Do you actually recognize some of those qualities that your spouse has? Because before you appreciate someone, you actually need to know. Most of the time during the dating process, yes, we sort of see the things that those things that are beyond physical looks, that your boyfriend or girlfriend is good at those attributes. But when you get into marriage, they sort of cease because you're busy, or there's so many things on table. But today I want you to sit down and think through your partner and begin to see those things. The last time we encountered a problem, he was very quick to respond. He negotiated this situation extremely well. He stood by me when this and this happened. All those are indicators that, hey, your husband is a very good negotiator, or your husband is a very good leader, or he's proactive, he's hands-on. Husband, think about your wife. Maybe she's super organized. She knows how to organize spaces. She knows how to plan. Every meal is pre-planned. Every holiday is pre-planned. Finances are pre-planned. I mean, you're looking at it as a weakness, but this could be a time for you to actually acknowledge, oh my God, I have a very good planner, and come this year, this 2024, the finances or the planning, the money she should be the one to take charge of that, since she's very good at that. So appreciation, the definition is recognizing and enjoyment of the good qualities of someone. Recognizing and enjoying. You see, the things that our spouses are good at are probably the things that irritate us, or because you feel like you have an ego, or you're filled with pride, you don't want to acknowledge, he's actually good at this, he's actually better than me. What he said last time was the right thing, but I just didn't want to take it because I wanted to brush her off, or I wanted to brush him off. I wanted him to feel like I am on top of the game. I know this, I got this, I am the expert here. Dear wife, dear husband, just relax. Let down your guard. This is your spouse. This is probably the thing that they are good at, and once you acknowledge it, you lay back and let them thrive in that area. You also get some breathing space. But we have partners in our home who want to run everything. They want to budget, they want to shop, they want to iron the clothes, they want to clean the house, they want to, even when the other person is saying, hey, what if you come up with a timetable? What if I help you in this? What if you start doing this at 6 p.m. instead of, what if every time your partner is trying to give you possibilities of finding ways of doing your work lighter, or executing everything that you're supposed to do, or trying to help you, you're shutting them down because you have not recognized that they're actually thoughtful, they're actually organized. And it's funny how when you walk into a workspace and you ask maybe your spouse's boss, leader, or workmate, just have a conversation with their workmate and ask, what do you think of Sarah, or what do you think of Mr. So-and-so at work. They will tell you they are organized, they are good communicators, they are proactive, they are open-minded, they are knowledgeable, they're all those things. And you keep hearing them and you're thinking, are we talking about the same person? Are we talking about the same person? Are you trying to say that my husband is knowledgeable? Are you trying to say that my wife is actually excellent, or she does things on time? Like, it's far from the reality or the picture that she paints at home. Maybe because you have never recognized that. Maybe because you have never taken time and given her that opportunity to shine in that area. You know, when you come into a marriage, you have strengths. You know, you have those strengths, and some of those strengths may cut across gender. The things that maybe a man is supposed to be good at, you find the woman is doing better in those areas than the man. Maybe you are a spender and your wife is a planner, a saver. Why not give her the money? Give her the role of handling the finances, but always asking for accountability because of her strength. This will save you so much. Well, this topic is it's so big, but let's go a bit further. I would like us to look at some of the synonyms of appreciation. That is, to regard highly, to esteem, to regard, to esteem, to value. Okay? Some other synonyms of appreciate are favour, respect, admiration, approval. As you keep hearing these things, do you approve of your spouse? Do you approve of them when it comes to certain things? Maybe cooking. Like, do you give them a tick, or it's always as if it's a tick or half a tick, or it's a dash dash? Do you actually regard them every time they are speaking? Do you take in their opinions when they suggest, I think that we should do this, I think that we should adjust this, or we should plan for this, we should start saving for this? Do you actually receive their ideas? Do you regard them? Because when you regard someone, it means that there's a way the weight, the value that you put on them is high. There are people we regard highly. When the president walks into a space, you have to stop and stand up because you're trying to acknowledge the presence of the president. Or when an important person comes in, there are certain things that have to sort of be put on hold because that person has come into that space. First attend to that person, and when they go, you go on with your business. Now, when it comes to your spouse, do you regard their opinions? Do you regard that which they are saying every day? Maybe that's the reason as to why you have slowed down in your progress the whole year, because every time he wanted to tell you, I think you should try it this way, I think blue works better on you, not red, you're still insisting on that which you know, that which was, that which will be, because you disregard their opinion. Later on, when someone else throws a comment at you, you actually take it in and you come back and wear the blue. But honestly, he had told you in advance, he had told you, or she had told you earlier, but you didn't regard. So if you don't regard your spouse, that means you do not appreciate them. One of the other synonyms of appreciate is esteem. Esteem and regard are similar. Do you esteem your spouse? When you look at them, you begin to sort of put them on certain levels because of maybe differences in culture, differences in family backgrounds, differences in education background, differences in career. Maybe you're advancing in your career and your partner is not thriving that much, or you're earning more money, or you feel like you're wiser, you're more exposed, you're more stable, and you come with all these qualifications to the marriage, and instead of looking at your spouse as a gold mine, as a good thing that God has given you, you are looking at them as some poverty-stricken woman, or somebody you're just helping lift to a certain level of society, which is extremely wrong. Or or maybe you're looking at them as someone who is undereducated because you have a few more degrees and they just have 1 degree. Remember, there is wisdom behind that partner, behind that spouse. There is wisdom. It may not be wisdom in economics or changing certain things that are maybe technical, or in electricity. They may not have that technical expertise in electricity, in electronics. Okay, it's called electronics. And let's see, in surgery, such things. But the general issues of life, the things pertaining to our home, you will be surprised at how much wisdom, at how much knowledge they have concerning those things. But because you do not esteem them, you still see them as that other you will not value them. You will not esteem their opinions. You will not esteem them. You will not regard what they say. You will not favor them, because every time whatever they say comes to your ear, it is met with rejection. Your heart is automatically rejecting what your partner is saying. I suggest that we buy this land, because you're already in your mind, you're thinking, what does he know about land? What does she know about land? Does she even have the money? You're rejecting. And yet appreciation also means you favor them when they speak. Is it like good music, soothing music, knowledge, wisdom in your ears, or it's just rubbish, stupidity and all that? Think about it, dear husband. Think about it, dear wife. One of the synonyms of appreciate is respect. Do you respect your spouse? How do you talk to them? How do you react? There are these things that are verbal communication, and there are those things that are just non-verbal, just your body language. How did you roll your eyes? How did you look into their eyes? Maybe they called you once, called you twice, and you pretended like you didn't hear. Or they were talking to you about something very serious, they had a suggestion, and you kept on typing away and laughing and chatting with that person on the phone. Think about it. So this person that you're with in the house is definitely going to start taking 1 step backwards. After 2 days, another step backwards. Before you know it, they've taken 5 steps backwards. They are laid back, and you're wondering, okay, I think I married a fool. I think this person is just stupid, or they are just full of food. There's nothing wise that comes out of them. They tried. Honestly, they tried, but you didn't recognize that. You didn't acknowledge. You didn't recognize the good. You didn't recognize the wisdom in their words. You were only seeing their background. You were only seeing their weaknesses. You were only seeing the thing that they did last time that went wrong. You were only painting a picture of the bad records that they have in the past, or the upbringing that they had. Or you are only seeing the fact that you are of higher value. People esteem you highly, so for them they are supposed to be at your feet. Really, that is extremely wrong. So I want us to look at the antonyms. Of course, when you're talking of antonyms, these are the opposites. When you don't appreciate your spouse, that means that you look at them, you despise them. And when you go further and look at the word despise, it means they are worthless. You disregard them, you disrespect them, they are unworthy of consideration. You cannot appreciate someone who is unworthy of consideration. There are people there are husbands who look at their spouses as somebody who is not worth it. If it was not because of family pressure or society pressure, they would have left that person a long time ago physically, because already emotionally they are detached, because they do not recognize the good in them. They do not recognize the fact that they are wise. They have a brain that functions. They have ideas that are actually brilliant. They have better ways of doing things. They have plans. But because you're the man of the home and you have an ego, or because you're the woman and you earn more or you're more stable, you keep brushing them down. And that breeds disrespect. That breeds contempt in a home. It shows that you disregard them. And I want us to think for a moment, what would hurt you if the opinions of your spouse begin to count? When they begin to count, when they matter, what would go wrong, honestly? Because you're building this home together, you're raising the children together. Some of the ideas they have are very, very good ideas. What would happen if they were, whatever they said was of value to you, or whatever they said began to count in your ears, in your mind, in your heart? What if you meditated on that with value, with esteem? There are things that one person will say and you brush them off, but the same thing that another person says, you're thinking, okay, this is wisdom. Why? Because you disregarded this one and you regard this other person. How about what if you began to think of what they said, or considered with value? You would go really miles and miles and miles. Well, I want us to look at some of the outcomes, the disadvantages of not recognizing who your spouse is, of not appreciating your spouse. First of all, your spouse you always have disagreements, because you're seeing things from this side and they're trying to tell you this other thing, but because your mind is already blocked, you're rejecting it right from the start. You're thinking, I'm the expert, what you're saying is nonsense, I'm the one who knows money, I am the head, and for you, you are beneath me. Whatever they say is met with rejection, is met with disdain. You will always be in disagreement. You always be in disagreement, because especially when you're two strong personalities, this one wants this other one wants that. And if your partner has a personality that seems weaker, they could give you a silent treatment, and that one is also a very strong weapon of defense, which breeds disagreement. Also, you find that your partner or both of you will not achieve. You will be low achievers in your marriage. There are things that two people can achieve. Two people can scale 1,000. Two people can defeat 1,000, and 10,000, and one person 1,000. There is so much that you can do when you are two, when you're more than one. There is so much that you can do with your spouse. There are things that she has gone through that you haven't gone through. There are things that he has gone through that you have not gone through. There are wisdoms that they have. There are books they have read, there are things they have learned that they would like to implement in their home, because it's also their home. No one is more entitled to the home than the other. But because you're always blocking them, you are a barrier, you're an obstacle to them, to their opinion, you disregard them, you esteem them very low, they will take steps backwards, hence achieving low. If you're going to put it in work terms, whatever performance indicators, there will be low achievers, because you've not created the right environment for them to thrive. The other thing is, it will be very hard for your wife to submit. It will be very hard for you to love your wife, because she knows, he doesn't care, he doesn't value my opinion, he does. Or if she knows this man, I am doing way better than him, I'm wiser than him, his opinions are rubbish, how will she submit how can you submit to a man you think of like that? How can you appreciate or recognize the value in a man that you think of like that? You cannot submit. You cannot submit to rubbish or nonsense or low class. No, by the time you decided to do life with that person, you need to value them, you need to respect them, and from a point of respect, from a point of esteem, from a point of, oh, this is my husband, you will submit. When they say something, the head has spoken, I have to listen. All right? Then there's always tension. There'll always be tension in the house, because that verbal and non-verbal tension. You walk into the house, and as a man you feel like you're a little boy. You walk into the house as a woman and you feel like, oh my God, I have come to be boxed again. Like I am working in a box. I don't have freedom, I don't have peace, I don't have liberty to express myself, to you look around the house and everything is screaming the man, or the man, you look around the house and everything is screaming. Even the meals are screaming the woman. What is in the fridge, what is on the wall, the curtains, the carpet, even the wardrobe, everything is just influenced by the woman. And yet you also have your brilliant ideas. Honestly, why wouldn't you be on tension? Why wouldn't you always be sad? And like I have said, there will be less effort from the other party. They will always lay back. So you find people saying, oh my God, your wife is brilliant, your wife is like this, your wife is, can you imagine, she planned this entire function. And you're thinking, okay, how come I don't see that energy? Take a step back and rethink, do I actually appreciate my wife? Do I actually appreciate my husband? And of course, if you recognize or acknowledge the good in your spouse, there'll always be peace. You'll agree, you will achieve more. There is so much. Well, I want you to take some time and think about this. Do you actually recognize your partner? Do you acknowledge the good in them? Do you value them? Do you see how they manage very difficult situations? This would be a very good start for you a very good place for you to start this year. Well, that's what I had for you today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification for more uplifting content. See you in the next video.